Welcome back to SaharaTV. My name is Rudolf Okonkwo. This is a Skype call segment when we give you the chance to join us in our discussion of Nigeria and Africa. We are a week away from the big election, and for today we are going to do a review how the campaign has been and what our expectations are for the election. Remember, next week we'll be here 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever it takes, until we know who wins the election. I don't have anybody here with me today, so we are going to go straight to our Skype callers and we'll have a discussion on the election. I want to welcome from Virginia, Prince. Prince, welcome to SaharaTV.
Okay. Thank you, Rudolf.
From Thailand, we have Kingsley. Kingsley, welcome to SaharaTV.
Thank you, Rudolf.
And from Canada, we have Sylvester. Sylvester, welcome to SaharaTV.
Yeah, thank you, Rudolf.
Okay, from Russia, we have Brett. Brett, welcome to SaharaTV.
Thank you, Rudolf.
And from London, we have Bishop. Bishop, welcome to SaharaTV.
Thank you, Rudolf.
And then from Lagos, Tina. Tina, welcome back to SaharaTV. Tina, are you there?
She's gone.
All right, I wanted to start with Tina, who is at home, to tell us what's going on. But anyway, hopefully we'll get her back. All right, so let me start with you, Prince in Virginia. So Prince, we are 6 days essentially to the election. I want to give us an overview. How have you seen the election campaign and what are your expectations on Saturday?
Okay, I think this is the first time that we have been experienced what is called real campaign. And a lot of people has learned what it takes to run a presidential election in Nigeria. And this is a very good experience, and I like it. I love it. The opposition party has put up a very, very good fight. And I think Goodluck has tried his best. I think if I were to vote, I would vote for him. I think he stands a better chance. And I hope he wins and see what's going to happen from there.
Okay. Kingsley, you are in Thailand. How are the people in Thailand, the newspapers and the media, how are they covering Nigeria? Are they interested in what's happening in Nigeria? And how are the Nigerians there also reacting to this election and campaigns in Nigeria?
Thank you, Rudolf. Can you hear me, Rudolf?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, here in Thailand, actually, everybody is clamoring for change. Personally, my opinion, I want change. And I want Buhari to win the election in a sense that for the past record, I don't know why people are afraid of Buhari because of last ruling. But for me, with the manifesto of Buhari, we are seeing the light. Despite that people are coming for change age. That is not my main issue. My main issue is let the man win the election. Let's see what we impart for the next 4 years.
Okay. All right. That's good. I'll come back to you next time. Okay. Sylvester, let me ask you, were you, let me see, how do I frame this? I know you are not going to vote, but is there anything going on that happened in the last 1 week that made you probably change your opinion about the candidates?
Yes, in the last 1 week, we've seen tremendous change from both sides, from both parties. That is the PDP and the APC. We've seen the president doing some things that he ought to have done earlier before now, because he had like 4 years to have done most of what he's doing right now. We've seen them taking real pro-action against the Boko Haram people. We've seen the president gone to visit those affected areas. So we've seen the president doing a whole number of things that he ought to have done before now. And we've also seen APC candidate too doing a whole lot of things, campaigning and trying to woo people to their party and to their candidacy. So we've seen a whole lot in the past 1 week, which is good for, which is a very good rivalry from both angles. Yeah.
Okay, but what about your mind? Did your mind change one way or the other? I mean, were you impressed by something one of the parties did, or were you, what is your, where do you stand?
In the record, I would say I'm rooting for Buhari. I've always, I never liked, I don't want to take it personal, but I've never liked the current incumbent president. I don't want to be abusive, because once you are, it means you're downgrading the whole integrity of Nigeria. So I don't want to be abusive to our president. I've never liked the incumbent president since inception, since 2011. Then I was in Nigeria. I didn't vote for him. So nothing they've done that have changed my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let's go to Russia. Brightwood, let me ask you, I know you've been on our show several times. In the last 1 week, have you seen anything that surprised you?
Rudolf, first of all, I would say that right from this election, I've watched them very closely. That one of the major issues in Nigeria is a major issue that even if a new administration comes in without looking at it, the problem will continue. Each year, Nigeria loses billions of dollars importation of fuel after exporting crude oil. And none of the government sides talked about our refineries. Our currency will continue to depreciate like that. Again, another thing I really discovered is that I'm beginning to discover that from starting mistakes when Buhari makes statements, I'm going to think that in terms of health-wise, not age, I think we are mistaken when we align Buhari's age with people like Adeboye, Bishop, Pastor Adeboye, who Buhari is about his age mate, people like Obasanjo, who is older than Buhari, and all that, they speak fluently, they speak with more energy, more than Buhari. So I think Buhari's issue is all about health, not age. So these are my observations.
Okay, thank you so much. Bishop, let me come to you. Last week we saw Benjamin Netanyahu won in Israel. Most people wrote him off as of the beginning of the week or the week before. Are you concerned that the PDP might pull such a similar victory in Nigeria?
Well, Rudolf, thank you so much, and I want to thank all the family of Sahara Reporter for the opportunity provided for us on this platform to air our views. Well, to me, it's a great surprise that we are in this state, and just for the record and for the whole world to know that I'm not supporting Buhari and I'm not supporting Jonathan. I've always said this before now. Listen, I want to say this. Anything is possible when it comes to Nigeria, Africa in general. We're talking about corruption. We're talking about ringing of nation. I see PDP coming back. I see PDP come back because they've got, even in the Western world, it is quite difficult to defeat an incumbent governor. It's not possible. This will replicate in Nigeria. Look at what happened in whoever said Bibi will come as his founding call is called Bibi. Whoever thought he will come back, there's Benjamin Netanyahu. Whoever thought he will come back. These are incumbent powers. They are difficult to be defeated. We are even talking about Africa this time around. It's going to be difficult not to even talk about Nigeria, which is rated as the most corrupt nation in Africa. So what are we talking about? I see PDP coming, but this is not my wish for Nigeria, for PDP to come back in the next coming election. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We when we have the video, we're going to play a little bit from the interview that Jonathan granted the BBC. But before we do that, I mean, we're still going down the road. We do that. But before then, I want to ask you, Prince in Virginia. I want to ask you. This week we saw people like the OPC, that is Odua People's Congress, and the MASOB, the Movement for the Actualization of the Sovereign Nation of Biafra. They all came out to protest, and the common topic for them was that Jega must go. I want you to in light of what Bishop just said, that it will be difficult to defeat an incumbent, and I know that you are leaning towards PDP, why are these two groups whose agendas are not in line with the PDP or the national government, why are they backing Jonathan?
Well, Rudolph, I'm not a PDP member. I have no PDP affiliation at all.
Yeah.
I am only supporting Jonathan. I am more affiliated to APGA more than PDP, but I support Jonathan. Listen, the OPC and the other group,
Masop.
I really don't know why they are protesting. This is just at the quarterfinal of the match, and then you wanted to get rid of the umpire. It doesn't make any sense to me. The election has to go on, and the Jega has to be there. So if you want a free and fair election, why do you have to throw in a stumbling block at the finishing end of the field? So I think they're not supposed to be doing what they're doing, and I don't think they're doing it for the interest of the president. I don't think so. I think it's selfish interest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, Rudolph. Let me just chip in solely. If you remember the interview, like you say, you're going to play it, that Jonathan granted BBC, he said one thing there. He said he will win. He laid emphasis. He will win.
Yeah, he said that we surely win. Yeah.
He will surely win. Meaning there's something. This is what we are talking about. Infinite power. It's difficult. It's pretty difficult.
But that's what is called being confident on yourself. You don't go to fight thinking you will lose.
Hello?
Yeah. Hold on. Prince and Bishop, hold on. Who is speaking?
I've been here for long and nobody asking me anything.
Is that Hansen?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
I don't have your name here. I didn't know you are there. All right, Hansen, let me come to you. That's okay. Let's hear people that I want to hear from people that I've not heard from. Hansen, so this is where 6 days to the election. What is your take? Are you confident that your man will win?
Rudolph, you know what? What I like about this election is that no matter whatever that happened, it will never remain the same anymore in Nigeria. You understand me? I appreciate what APC did. They gave a good fight to PDP, although I believe that PDP will win the election. Okay. But it's a good, I think it's a good lesson, for Nigerian political system, so that whoever that wins the election, this time around, he will work. He will do his best so that next time he will not find himself in this turbulent situation.
Okay. All right. Let me come to you, Kingsley. I want to, from the interview that Jonathan granted BBC, they asked him a question about Boko Haram, that the military, they've had successes with Boko Haram, but nobody could account for where they are. How did they disappear? Where did they go? Are you concerned about that?
I listened to the interview anyway. First of all, I want to, before I go to your question, I want to correct some impression that people are giving about the power of incumbency. In Asia anywhere, like in Indonesia, they had the election. The incumbent prime minister, I may call it, lost the election. There is one other country in Asia, I think Bangladesh, they lost the election. So why we Africans believe that the incumbent party must win the election every time? You will watch what's happening in Indonesia. If we follow it up, you will see what's happened there. I believe if the system of Nigeria follow what Indonesia did, you will see that PDP will lose this election in Nigeria.
Okay.
Apart from Rigi. So coming to what you are asking me about the Chibok girls, you can, from the interview, you can find out that our presidents have no answer to the Chibok girls. It can even tell you that even the interviewer was asking him, he gets aggressive at a point.
Okay, Kingsley, let's stop you there. Let's play a little bit of that video so that some of our viewers who may not have seen it, they can watch it, and then we'll come back and continue our conversation.
Okay.
So they are getting weaker and weaker by the day. And I'm very hopeful that it will not take us more than a month to recover the old territories that hitherto have been in their hands.
Where are the jihadists? Where did they go?
Well, I think they have a lot of linkages. You know, the whole West Africa into Central Africa, going to North Africa is a free world for them.
But what I mean is, as they were chased out of these towns and villages, where do you think they've gone to now?
No, that's what I'm saying. Whenever the pressure is on them, they escape. Of course, some of them, through the exchange of fire, may die in the process, but a number of them just escape. Some of them even sneak back to reintegrate into the civilian population because they are Nigerians.
The hope, of course, has always been for the families of the 219 abducted schoolgirls from Chibok. Their hope has been that this operation would find them alive, but this week we're told by the military that there's no clues at all as to where they are.
If that is what the military tells you, then of course you have to take it. But we ask that question every day. We are looking up to, we have not seen dead girls. That is a good news. So I believe they are still alive. I believe we'll get them.
Do you know where they are?
I know I can't tell you where they are. We are suspecting that they may be in Sambisa forest, but one cannot say categorically, but we are suspecting that the bulk of them may be in Sambisa forest.
Many people are questioning how on earth has it been that during these last just few weeks, less than 6 weeks, the whole picture has changed in the northeast. These towns and villages have been taken back, and they're wondering why that couldn't have happened months or years ago, why it's happened right now.
Yes, I agree. At the beginning of the Boko Haram, we never expected that they would build up that kind of capacity. We underrated the external influence. For Nigeria, since after the Civil War, we've not fought any war. We don't manufacture weapons. So we started to look for how to re-equip.
The giant of Africa, Nigeria, how could it have got to this stage? The weaponry of the military was so degraded that they weren't able to hold on to these towns and villages. When, you know, this is an oil-rich nation, the budget now is about $5 billion a year for security. For many, many years, each government has had a lot of money, governments before you. How do you think it got to that stage where there weren't the attack helicopters, the tanks, the armored personnel carriers and the weapons to take on Boko Haram?
Information is that these things were not there. I was not in charge. I cannot speak for them.
But do you think it's down to the fact that a lot of the security budget must have been looted during those years? The fact that people weren't buying, people were not buying the equipment?
I can't say so. But what I can say is that it's not as if government has done nothing.
You have the weaponry now.
We don't manufacture weapons. When you place order for weapons, it takes some time before you receive them. Weapons are not what you enter. They are not packets of cigarettes. It's not what you enter the store and pick them. But what I promise Nigerians is that we'll route.
Welcome back to the Skype segment. That was the interview President Jonathan had with BBC. There were so many interesting encounters there. In one of the questions he was asked about weapons, he said that buying weapons is not like buying cigarettes. And on Chibok girls, he said, we have not seen dead girls, so that there is hope. He talked about underestimating Boko Haram, which was something that Doinokube and some of the people in government, they've been denying that they, from the beginning, underestimated Boko Haram. So let's go back to our Skype callers. Let me come to you, Braithwaite. When you watch the president, this is I think this period is probably when they are making their closing statements. And when you watch a video like this, what do you get as
your voice is so low, I can't really hear it.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, it's so low now.
Okay, so I'm saying, when you watch a video like the one we played now, how do you feel about the president and his performance on the job?
Well, if judging from his statements, I think he was misinformed by his security agents. According to his statement, because he said that it wasn't there that when they were interviewing him, Dan was interviewing, they were telling him, look, he said the equipment were not there. So that is my own conclusion is that he was misinformed and misguided initially. That's my own take.
Okay.
Because to me, I believe it's just security agents now that should answer why now we're able to dislodge these people and before we can't dislodge them.
Okay, thank you. No, let me go to Bishop first. Bishop, what is your take? I don't know if you watched what we showed now, a little bit of that interview.
Even as a journalist, I follow every bit what happened. Yeah, you know, I like I said in that before we went off, I made mention he was laid emphasis of which Prince counter me with. But from what it is, like Gregory has said, it was misinformed about what is going on. I read it. I put up a post. I said, I asked them, why is it that it is now we are fighting Boko Haram with all Z? Why is it that now we are coming up with all strategy to fight Boko Haram? What happened in the past 3 years? In the past 4 years, what happened? How comes that we are taking the fight to their doorstep and we cannot fight them? We cannot find any death. We have not seen they've captured those Boko Haram. They are even saying we don't even know their whereabouts. All we heard is that they are fighting there. They are having power over there. But my question is, where have we been?
Okay. Okay.
Bishop,
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, let me come to you, Hansen. Hansen, are you with us?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Hansen, what is your take on the performance of the president?
Good. Rudolph, let me explain to you what Mr. President is trying to say.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Good. Mr. President is trying to explain that, you know, he inherited mess in Nigerian, in office. Okay? Because when you remember when the man asked him question about 5 billion, whatever security money and so on and so forth, he was trying to say that it's not there. There is no arms. You cannot fight. You cannot go to a war with empty hand, and he doesn't know. So it was when it became so obvious they have to fight Boko Haram. That is when they found out there is nothing in times of arms that the military is lacking arms. No. So he has to run around and get them together.
Excuse me.
Okay, that's okay. Hansen, let Hansen finish, okay?
Okay. And Rudolph, you have to understand one thing, that arms is not like, go out there to buy something and come back. It's something that you need to demand, and it takes time to build and bring. So what we're trying to say is that Mr. President couldn't do anything for so long because there is no arms, and he cannot go to Sambisa Forest alone with empty-handed. So he waited until, friendly countries could could supply him some arms. That is when they take the bull on the horn. So that is what he's trying to explain.
So Hansen, okay, anyway, I wanted to say, Hansen, that Ruben, his job, maybe you can take over the job.
Exactly.
All right, Prince. Prince. No, that's okay, guys. Let me go to Prince. Prince, what is your take on the video you watched?
Okay, if you look at what Jonathan said, it boils down to the problem Nigeria are having. Nigerian problem is not the people. Nigerian problem is the people who is doing the jobs for Nigerians. You have all these generals that runs Nigerian military, and every one of them enrich himself. The only care they have is about themselves. Nobody cared about Nigeria. We had to fight these people, find out that we have nothing, absolutely nothing. If you remember when a plane was busted in South Africa with bunch of money, Nigeria was trying to get arms from every angle to fight this war. And if you think it was Russia, it was the French, it was the British that helped us, most of all these weapons they're using today just arrived in Nigeria. So my question is this: if the past generals are misusing Nigeria, why do you want to hand this government over to another general? Nigeria is suffering from what is called generous industrial complex. These people does not care about Nigeria. The only care they think is themselves and their families and nothing else. And I don't know when you guys are going to wake up and smell the coffee. It is crazy.
Thank you.
All right, Prince. Thank you. Let me. We're going to have another segment of this Skype calls, but let me round up with everybody with us here. Let me ask you, Kingsley. So, looking at next week, what is the best case scenario that you imagine things that will happen?
Thank you, Rudolf. Please, there's one thing I want to chip in first. Like what
all right, someone has their TriCaster on or the volume up, so it's interfering with the audio. So if that is you, turn it down, please. Okay, go ahead, Kingsley.
Okay. Like I was saying, from the interview, please control the.
Yeah, go ahead, Kingsley.
From the interview, what Mr. Jonathan is saying that underestimated the Boko Haram, that the earlier time they underestimated them. But I could remember once, some few years ago, when they call about this Boko Haram, Jonathan will tell you that the Boko Haram members are faceless. But suddenly today, you're fighting Boko Haram, but you cannot use that word against faceless. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
So what I'm saying that all those things happening is just because of election. And these are the things that because...
No, don't interrupt him, please, whoever is doing that.
I'm trying to clear you. You should remember when Jonathan is telling you that Boko Haram are faceless, they should come out, let us negotiate. I know that you guys were aware of that. So, but now it's just a 6 week. Why are he doing all those things just because of election?
All right. So what are you?
Bombing everybody?
No. Go. Whoever is talking, please. I want to hear Kingsley alone. Kingsley, okay. What are your expectations in these last few days? What are you expecting on Saturday? What are your projections?
What? Is that me?
Yeah, that's for you, Kingsley. Yeah, that was the original question I asked you.
I was just waiting. It's just a few days to next Saturday. I hope I will triumph that verdict in support of Buhari.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Rudolf, I'm still here. Sylvester is still here.
Yeah, Sylvester, I'm coming to you next. So what is your own expectations on Saturday? What are you looking forward to seeing?
No, before I go dive into that, I did like to make contribution based on
the video. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the video, yeah.
Go ahead.
Without taking sides, you see the body sign of the language of Mr. President, that he wasn't in charge. Mr. President is not in charge of the aim of affair of Nigeria. That is the simple truth. When he was asked about where are the missing girls, what did he say? Look at his language. Look at the body language. When he was asked, he said, he made a statement, if I may quote him, the information is that those things are not there. He has 4 years. He's used 4 years already. The PDP-led government, I heard somebody Prince was mentioning the generals. The PDP government has been in office for 16 years. What have they done? The interviewer or the reporter was asking Mr. President, for every year, Nigerians spend $5 billion US dollar on security. Where are the money? Where are they?
It goes to the generals.
It goes. Who are the generals? If we have the CNC, what does it do? It's been there for 4 years or 5 years. Why has he not?
Generals run everything in Nigeria.
Please, no. Prince, let him talk.
Mr. President, if you listen to one of his campaign, he said the generals have not bought a single weapon. And it was really pinpointing General Muhammadu Buhari that he didn't buy even a rifle in his time. And he's been there for 4 years and for 5 years now. If not for the Boko Haram, Mr. President wouldn't have bought a rifle as well as Buhari. If not for Boko Haram, the trend that Prince is complaining of would have continued to a new government. It's the same old thing. It's not a matter of K2 calling pot black. They're all the same thing. And it so beats some of us that Mr. President is not even in command of the situation in Nigeria right now. You have the generals, you have people from there and there giving us fake information about what is even going on in our country that the president doesn't even have information about. I think that is so sad. If the country, if your president will tell you that he doesn't know, information getting to him that he doesn't know, if the military tells you this is what it is, this is what it is it the military that the Nigerian people voted for, or we voted for a C&C? Okay. To give us information, credible information.
Okay, thank you so much, Sylvester. Brentwood, let me come to you. We are at the closing week days to the election, and I want to know, what do you think has been discussed, something that hasn't been paid attention to in the campaign, the most important thing to you, you feel that didn't get the attention?
Let me just, I said about energy, that is my major problem. But again, I might go back to Goodluck Jonathan, who to an extent, there are certain things he uses to campaign against himself. Like with that British journalist, my problem with Jonathan is that I believe the way he talks about his soft hand on corruption, that is why he cannot really answer about what has been happening to billions over years, because he can't really question all those army generals. And when they see him like that, they treat the money anyway, because they feel this president cannot really call them to order to question him about the money. The same thing, they were running programs about Lion of Budilon. He's indicting himself that such a corrupt people are in Nigeria and they cannot do anything to him. So finally, another thing is about energy. Nobody has talked about our refinery, Nigeria refinery, Eastern Petrol. Even SaharaTV, I expected us to discuss economic situation of Nigeria. So that is a major problem. Nobody has said about whether we are still going to be importing petrol and suffering currency problem for the next 4 years. That's my subject. Okay,
thank you so much. Bishop, so what is your own concern as we get to the end of this campaign? Did you see anything that will make you think that the election will be decisive? Or are you afraid, like most people are, that we may have a situation where we are talking about interim government at the end of the election?
Election in Nigeria has always been this tensive, but in this very one, it has been in a very high side. But I wouldn't surprise, like I said, I smell rigging. I smell rigging, massive rigging. Like I said, if you look at what has been going on, I take some statistics during my write-up, I do my report and all of that. I take those polls. Buhari has always gained an upper hand in those polls. But in the reverse case, they will say, oh, it's an online thing. But these are people. These are reality. These are people that did this, that put all those figures. But if you bring that to reality, that it might transfer to making Buhari be the next president of Nigeria. But in the Nigeria context, that cannot happen. I smell rigging. So this is what I'm concerned about.
Okay. Hansen, do you smell rigging?
Rudolf, first of all, I want to say something, because Bishop talks about the online pool. I want you to understand that, number one, the 80% of people online are outside Nigeria. They will not vote. Nigerians, let's say 20% of people.
That's because
please let me finish what I'm saying, please.
Because they don't have access to
No, Bishop, let him finish.
Okay, 80% of Nigerians online that are voting are those outside Nigeria, and they weren't gonna vote. Okay, let's say 20% are those in Nigeria, that managed to have the possibility to go online. So what we're saying is that when you go to Nigeria, when you go on ground, the situation is quite different. Okay, I was there. I spent 3 months. You got a point. I know I've said it before. The election will be very tough. You got a point. It will be 50-50. But Goodluck is an incumbent presidency. Of course, there are possibilities that he has an open hand. But when you talk about rigging, the both parties are capable of doing so. Do you understand me? PDP can, of course, and the APC too can rig. None of them have the monopoly of rigging. So, but at the end of the day, please let me finish. At the end of the day, is who will be able to rig most, we win.
Okay, Hansen, let me just correct you, because this is a Nigerian thing. We throw out figures. You just, from your heart, you brought out that 80%. I don't know where you got it, but let me tell you that Sahara Reporters, which is an online-based website, 80% of, and my figure, you can find it on our website, 80% of people who read Sahara are in Nigeria. They are not outside Nigeria. All right. So, Prince, we are rounding up because we have to do another segment. So let me come to you. And normally, I know this is your first time joining us. We end each segment with asking people on Skype to tell us what's keeping them up at night. So, Prince, you start.
You mean politically? Or
yeah, of course. Or it doesn't matter. When you think about Nigeria, that's what we prefer. But if it's something about Nigeria, your life.
Nigeria is a basket of problems. Everybody knows that. Nobody is thinking any good thing about Nigeria. If your phone rings by 3 a.m. here in the state from Nigeria, you know that something is wrong. So, like the Jamaicans artist did one time, he says that Radio Africa always carry bad news. So there's no good news we expect to come from Nigeria. The same is going to happen to this election. I don't even expect something good to happen. The only thing is this, that this is the first time that we have had an election which is down to the wire. It is 50-50 that the opposition might win. Buhari might win this election.
Yeah.
Very good.
This is obvious.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prince. Let me to add to what you said, the chairman of PDP came out and said that PDP is not expecting a landslide anymore, that those days are gone. So let me come to you. Kingsley, what's keeping you up at night?
Thank you, Rudolf. Well, nothing much about keeping mouth. It's all about the election. I was just hoping and praying that the election will go free and fair. I hope that Buhari will come up as a Nigeria president before Sunday. We hear the results.
Okay, thank you. Sylvester, what's keeping you up at night?
The economy, I will also want to say, a lot of people are rooting for those displaced people to cast their vote in this election. Either both party, PDP, the APC, no one is talking about how to integrate those people to their community. No one is talking about reaching out to them in the full sense of making them settle back and going through the trauma they've been through and even stabilizing. I think that's one part. On the other hand, I'm thinking about the general violence that might occur if either side win. We just pray and hope that there will be peace irrespective of who win the election, so that we don't continue to shed innocent bloods for these politicians that are thieves.
Okay, thank you so much. Brightweight, what's keeping you up at night? Wait, before you answer, Brightweight, let me just mention that where they found Putin, the Russian president, so that shouldn't be keeping you up at night anymore. What's keeping you up at night?
Well, although my own specific country where I am is Belarus, so we are to an extent less affected. Although Belarus and Russia, they're almost the same thing. But this country, we don't have problem. Yeah, my own problem is about my country. I'm studying medicine, and now you can imagine I'm studying German language because I'm either going to Germany or London. I don't think I'm going to Nigeria because I don't have hope for now.
You can see, man.
So there is a very big challenge. But another thing is that now I'm not fully sure if the election will hold by next week Saturday. Some people are still skeptics. So that for now, that is just what is it going to hold? Then if it's going to hold, the next thing is about the security of the election. That is it going to hold? I keep wondering. I don't know.
All right, Bishop, what's keeping you up at night?
Well, like I said, I mean, firstly, I'm a Christian. I shouldn't let anything bother me, and I shouldn't let anything keep me up at night. All I need to do is to pray about when issue bothers my heart. But what I'm concerned about Nigeria's situation is the security. The security extent in this forthcoming election, there will be is what one should be concerned about. I believe if care is not taken, I see massive violence, most especially in the northern part. Let me correct one illusion. If Buhari eventually wins this election, that change that we long for, we think we might get after Buhari wins the election will not come. I guarantee you guys. I guarantee you, we are talking about the psychopath that this man is surrounded with. We are talking about, what was his name? Tinubu. Tinubu has got a track record of massive stealing. So I don't see that change. I don't see that change. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Hansen, what's keeping you up at night?
Yeah, Rudolph, you know what? The problem is that, it's a pity there is no debate. There is no debate because I've been waiting to see our general debate with the president, but he never comes. Although I saw the interview of Osibanjo that the Sahara reporters interviewed him, but I said that interview would have been the president, the person that is aspiring to be the president, Buhari. But it's a pity that he couldn't be able to debate. So I joined the same line with what is his name, Bishop, saying that even though Buhari wins, which I'm not expecting him to win, but even though if he wins, the change that everybody is shouting for will never come because he can never bring the change.
All right, thank you so much. Prince in Virginia, thank you so much for joining Sahara TV.
Thank you, Mr. Rudolph.
Kingsley in Thailand, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Rudolph.
Sylvester in Canada, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's my pleasure and my first time. Thank you, Rudolph.
All right. Brightweight, thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure, Rudolph.
Bishop, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for the opportunity afforded us.
And Hansen, thank you so much for joining again.
Thank you, Rudolph.
Now, we will be back for a second segment. If you want to join, we are going to give the youths a chance to talk about the election. And remember, all through Saturday next week, we'll be live until we know who is the president for the next 4 years. So stay tuned.